Planning on Fire, why don't you kick us off?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, bottom right hand corner of Moondance, I know exactly what build he is doing. Oh, and it's so exciting. Look at that. Wall up on the low ground. We know what this is. From Onside Gaming is the best Terran in the world. His name is Maru.
And spawning here at the top left. He's got his work cut out for him as he has to face against the G5L champion, Maru. But put your hands together for DRG.
Well, Maru got the good spawn, so he's doing the build. For those that don't know, Maru on Waterfall and Moondance has been doing this low ground wall off with double Rax Reaper into kind of a 2-on-1 style build. Is very dependent on the spawn. If you get the bottom spawn on both of these maps, then it is great. This build is really good because those add-ons pop into the inside of your base. If you spawn on the top side though, unfortunately, it's pretty bad because those add-ons spawn on the outside, and we saw actually in the Champions Cup final, Maru almost lose a game because of that, and only really found a comeback because Dark got a little bit too greedy with his droning, and Maru was able to come in and get the kill with a really strong timing attack. But yeah, double Reaper. I really like how Maru is experimenting with these openings.
Yep, and DRG, he does scatter with the Overlord, so he knows and has a hint of what is to come, and we'll see how he responds. I mean, I would imagine you will get some queens to defend, but does he get the link speed here? We shall wait. And he has the 100 gas. There we go.
And he should produce about 3 to 4 Reapers here, I believe. And yeah, I mean, it just all comes down to the micro. As we're gonna see, that first drone is saved very nicely. These lings are already very low. The danger of this build, of course, is that with just the 3 lings, or with the 3 Reapers, usually with 4 Reapers, it gets a bit more dangerous. But you can actually start to fight the queens a little bit with good micro. And Maru obviously has the micro ability to be able to do that. But also the dangerous part is this transition. Look at this. It's actually, I love this. Maru he has so many different transitions out of this build. This is actually a 4 Rax.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, look at the map distance. I mean, he can pretty much go ahead and, you know, throw down a tech lab, maybe research a stim or a combat shield, and just walk across the map with his Marines and just try to catch the DRG off guard and by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, this is just such an interesting transition out of this. Usually you'd expect something more akin to the 2-on-1. That feels like, oh, that naturally kind of transitions out. Also, nice grab there by Maru getting those 3 drones. But no, instead it's just going to be this really aggressive 4 Rax that's not going to be scouted because, you know, it's Trax opening. DRG is not going to send this Overlord into the main base. But yeah, this is, I mean, I love it. It's going to be stim, it's going to be combat shields. Eventually there'll be a factory following it up so that Maru can tech up off the back. But he's really just going to be looking to try and catch DRG out, catch him on, you know, a round of drones. And yeah, it's going to be dangerous. We'll have to see. I mean, DRG, he does have this Overlord position right outside of the natural. And I think with the information it gives, unless Maru took the long path and kind of weaved around this map, he should be able to see the move out, which is really when DRG is going to have to start using those larva rounds for his units.
Yeah, looks like DRG also just, you know, kind of spreading his lings just to spot any drops as well. But yeah, it looks like this, I mean, stim is about to be finished. Combat shield halfway done. We should see a move out relatively soon. Usually he would want to go ahead and move out kind of when the combat shield is maybe near done, or he can just go ahead and wait for the medevacs if he wants to, but looks like he is gonna move out. How many Marines is that? 22 Marines.
Yeah, DRG, he did just pull, I mean, he put a lot of money here into some upgrades. +1/+1 is on the way. That's, I mean, about 250 minerals and gas that he's not going to be using for units right now. Maru's got Stim done. How many Lings are there? 18 right now to the 26 Marines. More are popping out, though. We're going to have about 36 Zerglings. The Queens, though, are a bit in the front. Maru Stim's back. The Reaper's absorbing a lot of damage as the Lings just get absolutely ground to shreds. And now that it's just the Queens, I don't know if there's much left here for DRG. He has no Banelings. He has no splash damage against the Marines. And they got at least 2 more Stims. That's it. GG. Maru, 5 minutes and 33 seconds, says, listen, you made me wait, so I'm going to kill you quickly.
Quickly indeed. That was less than 6 minutes, and so it looks like we have a better chance of finishing and concluding this series because of course you are on a deadline, a schedule here. So hopefully you make your flight in time. But yeah, just a well done executed build there by Maru.
Yeah, no, it's clean, and it's so hard to read that as the Zerg, because obviously you don't want to send in the Overlord in case you lose it. You have to use that extra money to get that supply back, but at the same time, it's really risky to just not have any idea what's coming. And you see there, when you don't have any clue what Maru is doing, if it was a 2-on-1, probably would have been fine with the amount of Lings that DRG had at 5 minutes. 36 Zerglings, you're fine if it's a 2-on-1. With a 4-Rex, you need the Banelings. You need some splash damage. You need maybe even Spine Crawlers there, because that's a 2-base all-in, essentially. Or even Roaches. But DRG had no information. That means that this man in the bottom left is going to take a very, very quick game number 1 victory. He has every trick in the book in the bottom left. He is your G5L champion. He is the 4th race. His name is Maru.
And spawn here at the top right, he is the blue Zerg playing for himself, it seems like. He is, I mean, well, some may call him damn right good, but we call him DRG.
I remember the days of Dong Reiku, the full name.
Oh yeah.
when he didn't abbreviate it. Back into what? Heart of the Swarm? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time I ever watched DRG was Heart of the Swarm. It was a Yo Flash Wolves clan war.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I could give you guys a little shock there of how old that is.
Yeah, it's so old I don't even remember the team name.
Yeah, Yo Flash Wolves. Come on.
Yeah, not recalling in memory.
Right, yeah. Let me look it up so I can remember actually. Oh no, sorry, he was on MVP. He was MVP versus Yo Flash Wolves was the first time I ever saw him. It was in a Clan Wars. It was in the Shoutcraft Clan Wars. First game I ever saw of DRG. He played a 2v2 and proceeded to 2v1 the Yo Flash Wolves players. Essentially, while his teammate just macroed up. It was pretty cool. But yeah, very, very fun. And right now, obviously, it's still supported by Team NV, despite the fact that they are disbanded. They, of course, are still supporting each other. As, you know, DRG, man. I feel like before probably Hero, before Hero, DRG was that one kind of beacon of success of someone who's come back from military service and been very successful. Like his first season, he came back was absolutely just poning kids left and right with his super aggressive Zerg. Of course, Hero came along, has had a bit more success, and obviously Gumiho as well. But DRG, he's just been so consistent for so long.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Heart of the Swarm came out like 2013, or wait, was it somewhere around there, like the early part of the 2010s? And DRG has been around for that long. I mean, yes, there was a period of time where he did go off to the military, but he has come back and has been pretty consistent with his play.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, beating Cure, obviously, in their his last match showing, His TVZ is still, I think, his best matchup. DRG for the longest time did struggle with ZVP in the current meta. I still think it's probably his weakest matchup alongside his ZVZ, but his TVZ has been his kind of hallmark, his strongest matchup, and it still is really, really good at it. And so we'll have to see if he's able to get a win here off Maru. But onto Data C, it's a map that surprisingly I think you'd usually say, oh yeah, this is a good map for Zerg. It's big, you got a lot of angles that you can attack from. Unfortunately, you're playing against Maru, so it kind of negates a lot of those advantages because Maru is going to be going into mech this game. At least that is what I'm assuming. Knowing my knowledge of Maru builds and just how he uses his builds in these matchups. But we're going to see a Fusion Core. It's going to be the Battlecruiser opening. If we see one Battlecruiser, it should be Bio. But if he goes up past 1, he will be stopping at 3 and then going into... wait a second. Why is there a second starport here?
Looks like double BC opening coming from Maru. He's getting a little cheeky here.
I was analyzing. I was like, I know Maru builds. I know what he does, right? No. What am I talking about? Maru, what?
Well, actually, to be fair, it could still be mech coming from Maru.
I mean, I think it probably is with double starport, but this might even be crazy thought here. I'm just going to go because obviously this is something that you don't see really at all that often, if ever in a professional match. But my assumption is that Maru is going to transition this after his BCs. Potentially, second BC here, third BC, could go into something like a Hyperflight Rotor's Banshee build, which is something that he did actually do against Dark in that Champions Cup Finals. He did a battle mech with Hyperflight Rotor's Banshees to great success, actually, on Tropical Sacrifice. And so we might be seeing him going into a similar build here, or this is just for constant BCs. Yamato Ken is on the way, so we'll see if it's just gonna stop at 3. And right now, yeah, mining all 4 gas is still on it, so this first starport should produce a third battlecruiser.
All right, Liberator's keeping up with the harass, just buying himself time for until those battlecruisers pop on out, as well as the Hellions at the front side, just clearing out the creep. That's a lot of queens there.
Oh, he's hiding the battlecruisers. He's gonna wait for all 3. This is dirty. This makes me feel unclean, oily. I'm like, how do you? In what world do you decide that yes, this is the build? Is it a? Okay, he's waiting for 2. Is it gonna be a? It's a 4th battlecruiser.
Oh my goodness.
Snoopy. He's too confident. You can't let him do this, as the battlecruisers are just gonna start to find some kills. I mean, you also have the Hellions running on in, the Liberator as well. 3-pronged attacks. Maru, the Hellions are cleaned up, but the Liberator finds 14 drones while the Queens are distracted by the BCs. And that Liberator is still alive, as Maru, I mean, sure, you lose some Hellions, but hey, you get that much economic damage about 7 minutes into this game. It's absolutely worthwhile as the Terran. More drones gonna go down. This Liberator has 15 kills. The battlecruiser still being annoying. And guess what? There's more.
Well, looks like DRG is not waiting anymore. He is just gonna go for the Baneling Buzz. He's like, I just suffered too much economic damage. Let me break you here.
Oh, he got in? Yeah, DRG's in. I mean, the Baneling is focused down there by the Hellion. Great target fired by Maru, but the Zerglings are still going to get on the SCVs. Battlecruiser popping out, the 4th BC. DRG says, listen, I don't care if you were going to attack me. I have 4 BCs. What are you going to do against this? And the answer is not a lot, DRG. His economy's in shambles, down to 49 workers. He's trying to build more as the Queens are trying to push back the Battlecruisers. 1 is very, very low. The Yamato Cannons have been used up, but Maru, he is preparing his mech transition. GG, Maru! What was that?
Oh man, you know Maru is just feeling himself when he pulls out a build like that. 4 BCs. With Yamato as well.
Maru says, DRG, you're not dark. Come on, what are you doing? Sheesh, that... Like, the crazy part is, like, now that Maru has shown that he can do these builds, Like, how do you ever read this as the Zerg? Like, I'm thinking, like, if you're someone like Cyril, you know, one of those Zerg players who might face him if you're a Solar, and you look at this, like, you have to be constantly scouting. It's just another step. Like, even if you go in once, you might not see the whole thing. It's just, yeah. It's just,
Yeah, you got to wonder, like, is there a situation where, like, you have to go for Overlord speed to open up this game and just, like, just invest some of those gas just to get that early scouting, know what Maru is throwing at you, because, yeah, it's just really difficult, especially that first map, the first game. It's like, unless he had the Overlord parked near the main, he wasn't going to scout that at all, the 4 barracks follow-up.
Ladies and gentlemen, top right-hand corner of Waterfall. He's doing the double racks again. He just likes this build. He says, you know what? I think this is the optimal way to play Terran, and he might just be right. In the red, it's Maru.
And spawning here at the bottom left. He is on his last life. He's going to have to make something happen, and he's going to have to make it right now. They're starting this game. It is the one, the only, DRG.
And honestly, this feels like a situation where Maru is kind of saying, listen, DRG, I know that you're good at the mid game. I know that's where you're strongest. But what if we just don't get there? Because I'm confident that I can just kill you. And so far, he's been right. What's really interesting is that even though this is like the 2 barracks Reaper, DRG will see it. We have no idea what the transition is going to be off of it, because Maru has done a variety of things, from transition to a 3 racks, into a 4 racks, into a 2-on-1. You know, he really has the entire world. He's looking at it. It's like Lion King, and he's like, he was held up when he was a baby, and his father was like, do you see everything that the Terran builds touch? It's ours. All the tech. And then all the Terran units all bowed down to him and sang songs. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just like waiting for Maru to open up 2 racks and transition to like 10 racks follow-up, you know?
Oh.
Like the ultimate meme builds.
And it's like, at this point, Maru's going to start doing things that we didn't even think were physically possible. As, oh my, that's already 2 links going down. We're just going to start to see Maru just like say, actually, I'm building a factory first. And we're like, wait, can you do that without a barracks? And Maru says, yeah, I can. And we're just going to have to accept it. That is, that's what Maru does. But no, it is going to be the 4 racks follow-up once again. And honestly, I don't think this is even a bad play. A lot of people would say, doing the same kind of aggressive build twice in a row, that's a bit risky. What if your opponent reads it? But you know what Maru's thinking? He knows that. And he says, DRG won't expect me to do it again.
Yeah. Sometimes, there's that mind game where you do a build and you're like, or your opponent does a build and you're like, will he do that again? No way, he's gonna do that. But you know what? It's on Waterfall. This is like one of the perfect maps to do it on.
Yeah, the rush distance is very, very short. I mean, we'll see. DRG, do you start? How do you have to scout this? You have to. Like, I feel like there's not a world where you don't have to get Overlord speed and scout the main in order to be able to stop this. And I don't know if that's going to happen, DRG, right now. No Baneling Nest. Is he just going to go into Evo Chambers and double upgrades? Because if you do, then you're just fighting Stim Combat Shields Marines with Lings, and that's never a good fight, even if you have the Queen support. His 3 Reapers still alive. They, of course, can fight these Zerglings if they would like, if they find them. Looks like they are going to do so, actually. Oh, nice dodging there by DRG. But, yeah, this is dangerous factory on the way here for Maru, so... he does have a transition in his factory. He's going to get his +1. It's not completely all in. He says he needs to temper that. But DRG, what has he got? I mean, right now, 7 Lings. Adding on 10 more is going to be going up to a decent enough count. But I worry, Snoopy, there's no vision in the center of the map.
Yeah, this is not a map where there's a lot of cliff areas where you can just park your Overlord and see the move out. This is a map where you gotta kind of constantly just make sure your spotter lings are all over the place. And Maru doing a great job with these Reapers, denying.
Oh, all right, DRG saw it. 20 lings on the way, already had 18 in production. He's gonna keep building more and more. Wants to catch out these Reapers, but a nice jump there up onto the ledge. More lings. Baneling that's not quite done. I like the DRG is actually getting it this game, though, as the creep is going to start to be cleaned up. Again, DRG, I think you just try and delay. You try and wait. It looks like Maru is going to just give respect to the fact that DRG did not force the engagement early. And so Maru backs on up. Mind you, behind this, he has a factory on the way. He also has a starport. So he does have that next stage of this on still 2 bases, though.
Yeah, that means that Maru has to do a solid amount of damage to make this worth it. And you know, one of the flexibilities of this build is that even if you don't get that initial stim damage, you can wait for that +1 to finish and then go for the attack. At that point, you're going to have +1 along with more Marines behind it as well, and also 2 medevacs.
Yep. Tanks. I mean, there's no upgrades here for DRG, so it's going to be +1 versus nothing. I mean, there's no third base. Like, this is all in. And what I said earlier about it not being completely all in, no, it's completely all in. Like, this is... There's no way around it. Maru, he is not taking a third. DRG should know this. He's going to see the medevacs moving out. DRG should prepare for this. And so, you know, if DRG, he's prepared. He has Banelings, he has Zerglings. He doesn't have centrifugal hooks, though, as these Zerglings are going to try and make a run by. But again, that's a full wall off, so... not going to be able to find that much success. They get a few Zerglings or a few Marines, and that's about it. This 4th base is now going to be under pressure, and I really don't think that DRG should ever try and protect this 4th. That is just something that you have to give up. There's no way that you are going to hold it. Nice cancel. And he's going to save that money for more units. As here we go, Maru stimming on in. The Queens are fighting before the Zerglings are here, though. Mind you, it's just the singular tank. DRG needs to get on top of it, is going to do so now, trying to swing around. Needs to keep the Banelings out of range of the tank, but DRG is very disconnected here with the 2 parts of his army. Needs them to work together here. The Queen's now taking the fight up front. Now DRG needs to go on in. The Queens are going to start to fall. The Marines stimming forward. The tank is going to go down, but the Banelings have been kept so far away. Finally, they're targeted as they walk into range, and Maru is taking a massive supply lead. He gets the 3rd base, and now the Banelings walk in, but not before the 3rd is dead. GG. DRG taps out. He knows he's taken too much damage, and Maru just speed runs this match.